Hi team, welcome. My name is Meg if I haven't met you before. I'm currently in Berlin on a little trip, but I wanted to get a flow across to you. So we have a 20 to 25 minute hips and legs flow, something for the lower channels. And it is a slow flow, so especially being sat at your desk a lot of the day, or you've done quite a big workout and you're just feeling low in energy, this is going to be the perfect flow for you. Nothing too crazy in it as well, so take it as a bit of a way to down regulate your systems. I didn't have a mat because again I'm traveling, but I do advise grab your mat, grab a couple of blocks. If you don't have a mat, use a rug with a towel on top just to settle onto the bones a little better. And yeah, let me know how you got on. I'll see you soon. Let's begin to lie down onto our backs and just start to find a position that feels settling for yourself. So that could be something where the hands are on the body, but equally if as you're sort of settling the physical body down, you've recognized that you're not supporting yourself in a way that soothes, then just change your position of the legs, the arms. And I invite you to soften or even close down the eyes. Just take a few breaths to mark the beginning of your conscious practice. And it's okay if the mind feels very busy or blurry. Let's just give it a little space by relaxing the skull bone. And then take that space and drop it down into the chest, the ribs, the belly relaxed. So the lungs and the heart have space to soften. And then start to turn a gentle focus to breath. And with more space, let's pull a deeper breath into the belly, the very base of the spine as well. Let's start with our gentle cleanse. Inhale through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. Again, inhale nose. And out the mouth. One last inhale. And let it go. Close your mouth. In and out your nose, Ujjayi breath, a part of your practice. From here, hugging the knees in, just begin to rock from left to right. So starting to invite the muscles of the back, the bones, just to recognize we're going to be moving into them in our practice. We're going to be using them in a moment. And then bringing hands underneath the knees, tuck your chin. Start by some vertical rolls up and down. So again, just allowing the spine, the tissues of the back to feel a little bit of movement and motion into them. And then see if you can marry the breath with your movement. So the inhale coming forwards into maybe even a little hold switch on the brain. And then the exhale rolls you back. You have another 3. Trying to find that mini pause. Exhale, you have another 2. Exhale to roll back. And this time just rolling all the way forwards into your tabletop position. So in your tabletop position, you may need to scoot back as I did. So you're in the center of your mat. And then start to stir your body. I invite you to close down the eyes, just removing one sensory input so that you can focus on where do you feel any sort of restrictions, where you may feel any sort of stagnation in the body. And instead of labeling that good or bad, simply just invite that as a little more information for yourself. Spend a bit of extra time there in stillness or little movements to support the release. Breath is with you, conscious inhales and exhales. And do make sure you're giving your wrists a little bit of attention, that sway from side to side forwards. Good. You have 2 more breaths in any shape and any sort of movements that you need. And then we'll meet in tabletop, wrists under the shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips. Let's move into our cat-cows. Inhale, pull the chest forwards, gaze forwards. As you exhale, pull the ribs into your back body and then push into the palms and the knees. So start with your center. As you inhale, pull the heart from its center forwards. And as you exhale, pull the center into the spine and then round through your body. One last time, take a nice big inhale, maybe even gazing up to stretch the throat. And as you exhale, round through the spine, tuck those toes and lift into your downward facing dog. Now, keeping it relatively dynamic, give yourself a good old stretch through the back, through the legs as you sway side to sides. Again, just noticing, gaining a little more information as to how the body's showing up. Remembering your down dog fingers should be spread, armpits rotated into the ears, tailbone high, so bend the knees as much as you need. From here, on your inhale, the right leg is going to reach behind you. Bend the right knee and open the knee up to the sky. Open your entire front body towards the right, but then gaze towards your lifted toes, so underneath the left shoulder. Take another inhale, press into the palms, open the hip a little more. And then exhale, right knee is going to tap right elbow. Just a little mini shift forwards to build a bit of heat. Inhale, right leg is going to stretch straight behind, lengthen away from that hip. Exhale, plant right foot by right thumb. Drop the left knee, untuck your toes. Take the inhale, reach the arms to skies. Ardha Hanuman, you're going to straighten your front leg for half splits. Flex the right toes. This is where blocks may come in handy. You can bring hands to ground if they reach. Or if the mind feels very distracted, let's add the balance. Bowing down with the heart, the hands sweeping back. Squeezing those inner thighs, softening the face. Make sure those toes are lifted to the sky, creating space in the back of the leg for 3. Long, deep breaths into the belly for 2. On your inhale, bend your front knee, sweep those arms to sky. On your exhale, both hands are going to sway over to the right. Squeeze the left glute as they do. Inhale, come back to center. Again, exhale, we sway over to the right with the hands. This time the right hand searches down. One last time, take that inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, again, we're going to sweep over, right hand down. This time you have the option to bend the left elbow. Stay there, or bring that right hand and just gently draw the left elbow back in space. Keep squeezing the glutes. I know it can feel challenging to hold your base. We're here for just 3. See if you can lift the gaze, lift the heart for 2. Untangle, take the inhale, arms to sky. Exhale, plant those hands. Find your downward facing dog, hips reaching behind to sky. Take a moment to pedal, especially if you felt a little bit of sort of heat or a little bit of tension start to build through one of the legs. And then in your stillness, let's find our second side. Inhale, left leg rises behind. Bend the knee, open the knee up to the sky. Open through the front body to the left. And then gaze underneath the right shoulder to the toes that are lifted. Take another inhale, press, really open the hip. Exhale, left knee taps the left elbow, a little bit of strength and fire. And then inhale, left leg straight behind, reach away from that hip socket. Exhale, plant left foot by left thumb. Drop the right knee, untuck your toes. Take the inhale to rise. And that exhale, find your half split. Straighten the front leg, flex the left toes. Hands can come to support, or we sweep the hands behind. And some of these shapes are challenging to hold. So if you're feeling like you're falling or sort of switching around and moving, just notice, how does the mind react? Can we keep a calm sense of breath and a lightness in the practice? Make sure those toes are flexed to face. Face is soft. One last breath. On your inhale, bend your front knee, sweep those arms up to sky. On your exhale, both hands are going to sweep over to the left. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale over to the left. This time, left hand can come down by your sides. One last time as you inhale, reach. As you exhale over, this time as you reach over, the right elbow can bend, option 1. Option 2, the left hand can gently invite the elbow back. Let's make sure we're squeezing the right glute to open up through the front of the hip for 3. Think of lifting tall for 2. Reach those arms to sky, inhale. Exhale, plant hands, downward facing dog, hips to sky. Again, give yourself a little wiggle from side to side. Let that energy flow again after our holds. And then we'll come into our yogi squat. Inhale, tiptoes, bend knees. Step our hop feet to the top of the mat, outside the hands. Now, if you land in your yogi squat quite easily, you can bring the hands to heart for a moment. If the heels are lifted, use blocks or books behind them, or place the hands down to support you. From here, let's focus on the lower back. See if you can relax the lower back. It's okay if the tailbone kind of rounds under. For now, let's focus on releasing the tissues of the lower back. And then we're going to keep the right elbow, I'll mirror you guys here, on the inside of the knee. The right hand's going to come outside, and then inhale, the left arm opens. And then exhale, that left arm comes inside the knee and then outside the foot. Inhale, right hand reaches. Let's repeat that with breath. Exhale down, in, and then inhale up through the left hand. Exhale down, in, and then inhale, reaching up with that right hand. Exhale, plant both hands down, lift your hips, keep the feet nice and wide, and then just give yourself a nice sway. Knees are soft. Notice if without realizing you hold onto the head. Just let the head feel heavy. You can give yourself a shake no. You can give yourself a nod yes, releasing any deeper tension in the spine. Give your shoulders a wiggle, relaxing the rib cage. Just a pause of passive freedom. And then release any grips you may have taken. Heel toe the feet underneath the hips and roll up the spine. Soft knees as you rise piece by piece. On your inhale, the arms rise above. Exhale, bring hands to heart. Spread your left toes. Lean into the left, a moment to balance. Lift the right knee. Now again, notice, if you're feeling off kilter, the balance feels challenging, do you start to collapse and contract the mind? Can you relax the skull bone? Take another inhale. Exhale, slowly. Can we find a warrior 3 first? Before the right toes find the back of the mat. Inhale, high lunge, arms to sky. Exhale, warrior 2, hips open. From here, straighten into your front leg, turn your toes in. Take an inhale, reach above, collecting the sky. And then exhale, folding down, head heavy. Take a moment if you need blocks or books to place the hands on, or if you need to widen the feet. And then from here, we're just going to take the most subtle shifts of the hip bones left to right. So my legs remain straight. And by shifting the hip bones from side to side, we're creating space in the inner thighs, the inner channels of the legs, the adductor muscles, which are often quite tight for us and tensed. Is that breath supporting you here? We can start to deepen this if we want to, bending one knee to the other, or even coming into our full Skandasanas. The options there to open up through the chest, if that's the area that feels a little blocked for us today. I'll give you another 3 breaths. Another 2 breaths. And then returning to the center. From here, you're going to start to walk the hands to the front of your mat. Point the left toes forwards and then come onto your back toes. So you're in like a low lunge. If you need some support under the hands, grabbing those books or blocks. And then start to stir the hips. Like you're stirring the pot of the pelvis. Trade the direction with your breath. The other way. And then from here, you're going to drop your right knee. You're going to sweep the left hand around to the back. And then you're going to squeeze the right heel to right glute. Now, if the foot feels really far away, you can use a strap or a towel. If you don't have those props around you, you can actively squeeze the heel if the hand doesn't reach. And then you have the choice to either keep the rotation for spine or start to rotate the shoulder forward to deepen the opening in the front of the quads. So that right leg, the front of it stretching here. Squeeze the glutes, gently lift the chest. You have 3. For 2. Gently let go of the hold. Bring the hand inside the foot. And then see if you can give yourself a big step into your yogi squat. Good. Just pause there, lower back heavy. Hands to heart if you can. Close the eyes. And then bring hands down, hips to sky. Heel toe your feet underneath your hips. Your second roll up, can we have a little more detail in the spine? So you want to keep that mobility as the years passes by. On the inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bring hands to heart. Now spread the right toes, move into the right foot. We're picking up the left knee. And again, it's okay if we're feeling a little bit off balance. Just stay with the calm breath, that gentle inner smile to keep the practice light. Exhale, slow motion. Can we find warrior 3 before we step the left toes back? Nice work. Inhale, high lunge, arms to sky. Exhale, open energy, warrior 2. From here, you're going to straighten your legs. You're going to turn those toes in again. Inhale, reach the arms up, collect. And as you exhale, folding down. So I'll just rotate to you, but you can stay as you are. As you fold down, you can repeat what we've done before, finding those little movements, the bigger ones. If there's something that you love to practice, like a headstand or a crow, now is your 5 breaths. Equally, it could be something completely different, spinal twists. Anything that helps you feel into the body and the edges that are appearing for you today. You have another 3. Here for another 2. And then returning to your center. From there, you're going to walk the hands forwards to the top of your mat. You're going to point the right toes forwards, come onto the back toes. We're in that lunge position where you can start to stir the pots of the pelvis. Good, and then trade the directions. Moving faster, moving slower. Spending a bit of time where it feels a little stagnant or restricted. And then drop your back knee. Sweep the right hand like a windmill up and around to the back, and then squeeze the heel to glute. So I'm noticing a huge amount of tightness in the front of my leg here. I would ideally have a strap maybe, but that's okay. As long as your breath is with you. And then again, choosing whether you're rotating or whether you're facing forwards. Could be a pause to close the eyes, send the breath where the body is telling you it needs it. One last breath. And then release the foot, hands come down. Find your downward facing dog. Let's give ourselves a little more opportunity to open the hips. Coming into our pigeon pose. So right knee, right shin are going to slide forwards. Left toes are going to crawl back. So this is a really beautiful one to open up the depth of the hips, the glute, the piriformis, all the areas around the outer hip as well. If pigeon doesn't feel accessible, you can always bend your back knee for deer, or you can find a figure 4, right ankle over left leg, gently drawing the knee's energy away from the body. If pigeon's okay, ankles on the opposite side to the knee, slightly shift the right hip bone back, and then you can fold. I'm going to stay on my elbows. I invite you to close the eyes if you feel comfortable too. Relaxing the heart space. Just ever so gently press into your front leg, the right leg, and see if you can just move the belly a fraction further forwards. And then take 3 of your slowest breaths yet. Let's take a moment to lift the heart space. Think of rising through the crown, reaching up to the skies. And then lean over to the right, sweep the left leg around. We'll come into Janu Sarshasana. So the left leg is straight out, the right leg is bent out at an angle. From here, if you find you're leaning back a lot, that's an indication you need to sit on a block. If you don't have blocks or books around you, you can take a bend in that left leg. From there, let's all bring the hands behind us, pull the shoulders down, and then push into the fingers to lift the chest, and then lean forwards, maybe walking the fingers closer to the body. You can stay there or sweep the hands around to take your leg or your foot. Gentle flex of the toes up to the ceiling. Again, eyes can close down. If you're keeping the spine relatively neutral and straight, more access into the back of the legs. If you're rounding the back, it's a little more into the connective tissue around the back and the skull bone too. So you can decide which you need. You have another 3. Good. You can start relaxing the breath, just really lengthening it to calm and soothe for 2. And then curling up the spine, option 1. The right hand comes behind, fingers face away, a nice rotation. Option 2, press into the hand in the right shin and start to lift into your rock star. Just a back bend if you'd like to open up the front body. And then releasing down. Cross the legs, find your way into downward facing dog. It doesn't need to look like me, but we meet in our down dog for second sides. Left leg traveling forwards if you're coming into pigeon. Remember, if you'd rather, you can come into your D here, bending both knees, or into your figure 4. If you're with me, ankle opposite side to the knee, shift the left hip bone back slightly, and then walking the heart almost leading forwards before coming down. And then first just settle the torso a little. Notice if you're clinging on to the heart. Relax the heart, the lungs. Gentle press of the left shin, the left leg to pull the belly a little further up. And give yourself a few breaths. Slowly lifting, we pause, finding this sort of rise from our base up to the sky, the crown, reaching, and then lean to the left, sweep your back leg around. Your Janu Sirsasana, so right leg now straight, left leg bent out. Remember, you can bend the knee if you need or sit on a block. Toes to face, chest lifts, fingers behind, and then pull the chest forwards, gently press into those hands. Option to stay, option to sweep the arms around. And be conscious of your choice. Is the spine neutral or are we rounding the back? Neither are wrong. We just want to be aware of our choices and then the response from our choice communicated by the body. Notice if you're fighting yourself, your time with your body, and instead nourish your body in this hold. Calming, soothing breaths. Curl up the spine. Left hand comes behind, fingers face away, option 1. Option 2, we press into the left hand, the left shin. We lift into our front body opening, heart opening, back bend for 3, for 2. And then release down. Lengthen the legs, roll onto your backs. As the back meets the earth, bring the knees in. And as you sway left to right, remember this is the exact same movement we did at the start of class. But the intention is now to soothe and to relax the muscles and bones. So intention matters when we make our choices, when we move the body. Just settling it here. Let's bring the right knee into our chest, left leg long. And then cross the right knee as gentle or as deep as the breath can remain relaxed. Let's return to center. Just gently guiding the knee back to chest, and then the left knee picks up. The right leg extends and we cross the body again as gentle or as deep Just let it be a like heaviness, a passive use of the body to create the twist. Back of head heavy, eyes can close. And then gather the knee back to center. Bring your other knee in. Wrap the arms around the legs. Lift the head. Take an inhale to hug your body. And as you exhale, surrender. Find a shape to dissolve the physical body. Our Shavasana to absorb the practice too. Now you take as long as you need in this Shavasana. I'll leave the recording on for the next 60 seconds. But thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you next time.